Now, it's the biggest TV show in the world with over 142 million viewers. I am, of course, talking about the hit Netflix show Squid Game. Linda, you have watched a bit of it, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got
and this is basically all we can show from this particular episode because it's gruesome.
It really is. Honestly, I was absolutely traumatised watching it last night. So I got a text message from one of our producers saying, "Can you watch this series?" So I put the first episode on, and I was like, I kept having to look away because it was so violent. So if children are watching that, God help them, honestly, they won't be able to sleep at night because I couldn't sleep last night. It was really, really violent.
But children shouldn't
honestly.
be watching it.
They shouldn't be watching it, but I think that there's pressure on them at school because some children have actually watched it and that. But no, it's definitely, it should be. I don't even, if there's 18, I think it should be like 40 or something because it's so violent.
It's a 15 rating, actually. And it is, as you say, it lingers with you. I mean, I watch
really
things and it really does affect me. I get really into
there was so
different
much
series
blood as well in it. It was really, really traumatising.
You could say that the game is like taking computer games and just making a realistic version of it. And it is true that every night on television we happily all sit down and watch murder mysteries, and somehow, you know, there's a serial killer out there every night on, you know, several channels. But when we watch the murders and deaths in that kind of context, you expect there to be retribution, to somebody to pay the price for committing an act like that. But when I watched the Squid Game, I agree with Linda. It was just like gratuitous violence, and it was like I just felt the whole thing was unpleasant, absolutely unpleasant. And that image of the first person getting killed in that game will stick with me, and it's creepy because it's based on childhood games that we've all played that are so innocent.
Well, for people that haven't watched it, it's a bit like, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So, you know, when someone goes, what's the time? I play it with my grandchildren all the time. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? You turn around, and if you see them moving, then they're out of the game. With this, they lose their life if they get caught moving, and it's like a giant toy girl or whatever that goes red light, green light, red light, green light. And it's like, honestly, it really was horrible.
I've only watched 2 episodes and haven't watched the second one, aside from the nature of the violence and the games and everything else. But it is, so far to me, and it may change as the series goes on, but certainly by the end of episode 2, it is very much about just desperation in people. Like, these people that are involved in the games are utterly desperate in life. They're in debt for whatever reason, and they need money to save family members, to save their own lives. And suddenly you realise just the depths that people are willing to go to try and get anything. And actually it becomes quite sad. It becomes much more of an emotional, social kind of experiment. Like, you do feel for them.
Look at it
a
like
young
that.
child, absolutely not. And I agree with the 15 trailer. And gosh, I watched all sorts of things when I was younger when I shouldn't have done, I'm sure. But actually, for this one, I agree with it. Like, it's 15.
Isn't there a huge difference between all of us watching I'm a Celebrity and watching all the Bush Tucker trials and watching people crying and screaming and puking and humiliating themselves, and we watch that and then we feel, oh, do we feel a little bit guilty laughing at these other people? But it's not violent, you know. They're not. They're not
coming to real harm.
No.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you. Here we are talking about it. Like, there are occasionally these programmes, though, that absolutely influence everything.
Yeah.
Squid Game is currently it.
I've not actually seen it, so I feel...
I don't know if it's your cup of tea, Colleen.
I don't think it is. They asked me to watch it last night, but they only put me up in a tent when I'm here, so it didn't have Netflix. Just stick a tent up for me. I don't have Netflix to watch anything.
Just avoid it then.
Very cheap.
There was a study done, you know, just this week about sort of industry insiders who put together this, like, top programmes of the 21st century. And the top 5 include The Wire, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Fleabag, comedy, and Game of Thrones. There's a bit of violence in all of those, bar Fleabag, really.
I thought they were quite male-orientated when you read that list out. It seemed that they're the kind of programmes men would prefer perhaps more than women. Like, I've never watched The Wire, I've never wanted to watch The Wire. Fleabag, I did enjoy. But I was thinking what programmes I really enjoyed. 24, that was a great one. But if they're saying the 21st century, I think 24 started slightly before that. But Borgen or The Killing, we've had so many great Scandinavian series.
What about Friends?
I know Friends wasn't it?
Friends.
Friends wasn't
What about
it?
Game of Thrones? Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah, it is.
Absolutely
It's in.
love Game
It's
of
in,
Thrones,
yeah.
and that normally wouldn't have been my cup of tea, but I started watching it with my.
Excuse
my
me,
family.
what about the best one?
Violence. Violence.
What about the best one?
What's the best one?
Birds of a feather.
Obviously.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, birds.
Good old birds.